Haz and Meg's Real Nightmare. Sussexes BBC podcast banned after receiving wave of fierce backlash. A highly controversial podcast series, examining Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's relationship with the media, has been indefinitely postponed after its accompanying television documentary garnered nearly 1,000 complaints. The podcast series, presented by Amol Rajan, was intended to be aired 2 weeks ago on the same day as the second installment of the two-part Princes and the Press documentary was set to air. However, on November 29, the BBC announced that the audio series, entitled Harry, Meghan and the Media, would be delayed amid concerns of how the firm would react to the television series. The BBC decided to shelve the audio series for the immediate future after royal fans turned their anger towards the Princes and the Press documentary. After viewers complained that it was disrespectful to the royal family, the BBC quietly dropped the podcast. The BBC said at the time the podcast series was still in production and said it would be released as a box set on an unconfirmed date when it's ready. Speaking on a teaser clip for the podcast series, Mr. Rajan promised the series would go into some very controversial aspects of the royal family. He said, "Allegations of sexism, racism and strategic leaks, we examine them all." According to The Telegraph, the series would focus around a central question: why did the coverage of Meghan Markle turn so sour, so quickly? Buckingham Palace, Clarence House and Kensington Palace all expressed anger at the two-part documentary as the camps had not been given a preview of its contents prior to broadcast. In a statement given to the BBC, and shown at the end of the programme, the palaces said, "A free, responsible and open press is of vital importance to a healthy democracy. However, too often it is overblown and unfounded claims from unnamed sources that are presented as facts, and it is disappointing when anyone, including the BBC, gives them credibility." Following the release of the television documentary, Britain's National Broadcasting Studio received 925 complaints from enraged watchers who believe the programme was disrespectful to the royal family and therefore should not have been broadcast. The programme was fronted by Today presenter, Amol Rajan, 38. After the documentary aired last month, Mr. Rajan apologised for rude and immature comments he made about the royal family 10 years ago. Mr. Rajan described the Queen's Diamond Jubilee as a celebration of mediocrity. In a column for The Independent on the Diamond Jubilee in January 2012, Mr. Rajan accused the Duke of Edinburgh of being a racist buffoon and described Prince Charles as scientifically illiterate. Writing on Twitter on December 2, Mr. Rajan said, in reference to very reasonable questions about some foolish commentary from a former life, "I want to say I deeply regret it. I wrote things that were rude and immature, and I look back on them now with real embarrassment, and ask myself what I was thinking. I would like to say sorry for any offence they caused then or now." While the BBC did receive close to 1,000 complaints, in April the broadcaster received 109,741 objections for its coverage of Prince Philip's death. Responding to the complaints, the BBC said, "The Princes and the Press explored the relationship between the media and the monarchy, focusing on the younger royals. It included interviews with a range of print and broadcast reporters who follow the royals closely and heard their views on the relationship the press has with the royal family and what influences the stories that are published. We conducted more than 80 hours of interviews and sought views from a wide variety of contributors. This included approaches to Buckingham Palace, Kensington Palace and Clarence House for comment or for a representative to be interviewed for this series. A joint statement issued by them was included in both programs and issued